Our next group is Tsukimi Kai. Tsukimi Kai is an intergenerational group of predominantly Nikkei artists, performers, educators, and scholars who share a goal to explore and celebrate the parallel histories of Japanese Cubans and Japanese Americans. The word tsukimi suggests the circumstance of people divided by distance, yet appreciating the beauty of the same bright moon. By reaching across boundaries of history and politics, they have exchanged stories of shared migrations from Japan and adapting to a new land. Tsukimi Kai, please.
Can you guys hear me? Is that all right? This one better? This better? Great. Hi. My name is Grace Shimizu. I'm one of the founding members of Tsukimi Kai. I'm also the director of the Japanese Peruvian Oral History Project and coordinator of the Campaign for Justice, Redress Now for Japanese Latin Americans. What I'll be doing is giving a kind of a description of who is Tsukimi Kai and introducing some of our members here. Tsukimi Kai was formed in 2004. We were inspired by the trip that NCR and Francisco Miyazaki had when they came to San Francisco. And so as Maki said, we're an intergenerational group of predominantly Japanese American artists, oral historians, educators, students, and community activists who share a goal to explore and celebrate the parallel histories of Nikkei Cubans and Nikkei Americans. In August 2005, Tsukimi Kai brought a 19-person delegation of largely Japanese American social researchers, taiko drummers, obon dancers, and a video crew to Cuba to exchange family stories, history, culture with the Nikkei Cubans in Havana, La Isla de la Juventud, Cienfuegos, and Trinidad. I think we ranged in age, from 12 to early 80s in that time. And so Tsukimi Kai conducted interviews with numerous Nikkei Cuban families. We visited local historical sites and presented a number of performances, including one at the annual Obon event on the Isla. The Obon Festival, as people know, is a traditional Japanese observance, an annual midsummer celebration that honors our ancestors. And based on this trip, we realized the importance of capturing these stories as oral histories and sharing our findings with communities in the United States. In December 2006 to January 2007, 21 of our members returned to make a second visit with the Nikkei communities of Cuba. Tsukimi Kai, too, continued the research of the first group by facilitating conversations between second-generation Nikkei Cubans and Nikkei Americans in a Nisei-to-Nisei exchange. Second-generation Nikkei who still hold the memories of family immigration and of internment in relocation camps or prisons during World War II are now in their 70s and 80s. And in spite of the difficulties of obtaining a license to travel to Cuba, we felt that these stories were urgently needed to be captured before they were lost forever. In addition, Tsukimi Kai too initiated exchanges among fourth-generation Nikkei youth, Yonsei to Yonsei dialogues. We documented the convergence of youth, art, and activism in the Nikkei Cuban community and discussed the issues of identity, race, and culture. Tsukimi Kai too brought an ensemble of musicians and dancers who performed Okinawan music and dance, taiko drumming, and hip-hop, and used these performances to open a gateway for exchange of stories and ideas. We also celebrated the 48th anniversary of the Cuban Revolution on January 1st, 2007, which coincides with one of the most important Japanese holidays, Oshogatsu, New Year's Day. Tsukimi Kai is also considering future trips to Cuba. And so if anyone is interested in joining us and participating, please contact any of our members afterwards and we can kind of talk more about it then. Let's see. For our presentation today, we wanted to, start off with a short video clip from our 2 trips, mostly highlighting the interviews that we had conducted with the Nikkei Cubans there. But before we do that, I'd like to just kind of introduce some of our other Tsukimi Kai members here. Steve Wacha, Amanda, Wesley, I don't know where Wesley is, way over there, and as well as Mateo Reyes and also Craig Matsuzaki. We can't see them right there. Steve Wacha is a founding member of Tsukimi Kai. He's a 3rd-generation Sansei Japanese American. He graduated from UC Berkeley in 1977 with a BA in biology. And he's participated in both Tsukimi Kai trips, and after the first trip wrote a summary of the history and current situation of Nikkei Cubans. I think we might have maybe some copy of it on the info table. So he's also a photographer, and his photos have been part of our Tsukimi Kai photo exhibit. And so we have some of those photos on display at our information table, so please take a look at that. Amanda Wacha is a Yonsei 4th-generation Japanese American and graduate of UC Santa Cruz. She wrote her undergraduate thesis on Nikkei Cubans, a story of Japanese immigration, incarceration, and the search for Nikkei identity in Cuba. Amanda led the social documentation team on the Tsukimi Kai 2 trip to Cuba, and she lives and works in the Oakland area. And next to her, we have Mateo Reyes, who's a 3rd-generation Filipino-American. He's also a UC Santa Cruz graduate in American Studies. And he was also on the social doc team and helped us create our Tsukimi Kai 2 video. And then in the back, why don't you guys come out just so that people can recognize you. And then you might not recognize, Amanda, were you in the Shisa? She's the butt end of the chair. And then Mateo, were you the front end? Okay. And then we have also Wesley Leroy. He was doing, come on, out. And he's a founding member of Tsukimi Kai. He's a 3rd-generation Okinawan American and is a professor at Asian American Studies at San Francisco State University. He's a member of the Northern California Okinawan Kenjin Kai, and he's an accomplished musician of traditional Okinawan classical and folk music, and he led the performance team of the Tsukimi Kai 2 trip in Cuba. And last but not least is Craig Matsuzaki. He's a Sansei Yonsei, Japanese American, who's graduated from UC Irvine in Asian American Studies. And even though he wasn't able to come on the Tsukimi Kai 2 trip, he was a member of our home team providing support from here in the States. And he's a taiko player, and you saw him today, and a peace activist in the Bay Area. So maybe what we can do is kind of look at the short video clip and then go into the presentations. Can you cue it up?